stop here. Just seeing if this old radio's still working.
775, Nevada, 357 Chicago, wave.
Hey, it's me, Shane, Gemini Garage, and today I'm going to try and make, I guess you'd just call it a simple mast. A simple mast for anything that's got like a 3/8 24 thread on it. Maybe you've got something like this fire stick here, or maybe, grab this real quick. Maybe you've got an antenna like this here. This is the Goldenrod GR45. I've got a video on this antenna if you're interested in checking it out. But it's got the, the trucker style mount, 3/8 24 thread on the end here. And so there's a lot of times when you might have an antenna like that and you'd like to get it up a little bit higher in the air, maybe bolt it to the side of your house or your porch, or in this case, maybe bolt it to the ladder of an RV. I've got a friend that's got an RV, and he had to swap his car out, and the antenna he had on his car was a Wilson 2000 trucker mount style. And he's got it through just like your regular mount that has a bracket in it, bolted to the ladder of his RV, but it's just down too close to the top of the RV, and with where his radio is inside, it's not working out too good SWR wise. So we need to get it up a little bit higher, and sometimes just a few feet helps. And if this doesn't do it, then this will definitely come in handy for some other types of antennas. But this is a 5-foot piece, about a 5-foot piece of 1-inch PVC tubing, like you'd use for plumbing or sprinklers, yard work, whatever kind of stuff. It's pretty common. You do need to paint this stuff because it's going to be in the sun, and this stuff it's not UV rated, so it will degrade within a couple of years if you don't paint it. But that's okay. It's cheap. It's reliable, and it's easy to work with for what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of tubing here, and then we're going to put this fitting on it here, which has a thread on here for a threaded cap. And then we're going to take this here, which is our connector that you would find, like I said, on a whatever you're going to mount it to. It's going to be on a semi truck or a mirror mount or whatever. You're going to have a 90-degree bracket that's sandwiched in between this, and I'll show you how this comes apart in a minute. But I'm going to drill a hole in this cap and have this in there like that, and then you can put whatever antenna you want in here like that, and then take the end of it here and bolt this to whatever, bolt it to your ladder, bolt it to the side of your house or your patio or whatever, and that'll help get your antenna up another 4 or 5 feet. Now you kind of have a limit with this stuff how much you can extend it. You could probably put another, it's pretty sturdy like it is now, and it's going to depend on how big of an antenna you try to put into here. No problems with this length here. You could probably add another few feet to it, and it would probably be all right. You can, of course, experiment with it. You can get a couple of pieces of these and figure out what length you want to work with, because all the hard work is what you're going to be drilling a hole and mounting this in the end and all this stuff here. This down here, pretty easy. You can just either mount another one of these on the end, and then get a coupling that's threaded and put another piece in there, or you could just get a regular union and just glue fit another piece onto here and keep cutting it down until it but it's pretty sturdy with it being just about 5 feet or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cap off, and we're going to drill that out first so we can put this in there and get that sealed up. I'm going to drill this, get this fitted in there, and then take it off and then paint it with some white spray paint. And this comes apart. You've got this top part here, which is like the top nut and the part the antenna screws into. You've got your split washer here. You've got an insulator here. And then you've got your stud, your brass stud, going into your PL259 connector here. So we're just going to drill a hole in here, put this in there like that, and sandwich it in together there. And the other nice thing is you'll be able to screw your coax onto here and run your coax down through here too. So this will be nice because it'll kind of protect your coax a little bit too. So it should work out pretty well, hopefully. So, all right, I'm going to see what bit I need to drill that out, and I'll get back. Stick with me. Okay, I'm just going to try and I'm going to put a smaller, oh, let's see, what am I going to do here? I think I'm just going to use one of these bits. It's one of those, I always forget the name of these things, speed bits, or, oh, there's another name for them. But they're these starter bits, and these are really great. They come in packages of like 4 or 5. You can usually get them at Harbor Freight or wherever online, but they're really cool. All right, let's tuck this thing in there. Okay, this isn't going to fit in there like I want it to, so I'm going to use a smaller one to get the hole going. That's pretty close to being center. Okay, so we got probably, I don't know, 1/4 inch or 5/16 hole in there. And we need it a little bit bigger. Not much, but a little bit. You should use a vise or use some pliers or something. I've been doing this kind of stuff so long, it's just like when you're doing slow speed drilling like this, it's just as long as you're wearing gloves and paying attention. You should really be wearing eye protection too, but it would help if this bit was sharp. Okay, I think that's probably going to do it. Yep. A little bit of room to spare, so good deal. Okay. So now what I need to figure out is, am I going to put some kind of sealer? What am I going to do as far as all that's kind of going to be to seal this out of here? Seal any water that might. I think what I'm going to do. Now this is going to be recessed up in this cap a little bit, so you can do a couple different things. You can either go ahead and put your coax on, now, or put, a length of coax on it, or it's not that big of a deal. You're going to have to maybe put some pliers or something to kind of, maybe get on your barrel a little bit to get it up in there to turn it, but it's not really that big of a deal. And like I said, after you're all done with this thing, you can make this the last part, to where you put your coax on and then put this up through here, so. And you could also just use a glue cap and cut the cap down so it's not as deep and just glue it on there. I just chose to do this just in case you want to take it apart and modify it for some reason. So I decided to just remove the insulator altogether because it doesn't need to be there since this is going through that plastic, and it gives a little more of this stud to stick out of the cap here to thread this onto. So I'm just going to put an O-ring over this right here and put this up in there like that. And I don't know if I'm going to use this split washer because that's just kind of a place for water to migrate down into. I think if I just put this thing on here and thread it down and tighten it really well and then put some a little bit of silicone around there, I think that'll be good. So I think that's probably how I'm going to do it there. Makes sense. Also, that's a good last minute way too if you want to take this out before you put your coax on it, and then while your coax is attached, put it in there. That way you don't have to put any kind of silicone sealer on this side. You've got the O-ring, and then you can put some sealer on here when you're done and you're tightening this down. You could probably, if your hole and your tolerances with everything are right, you could probably put an O-ring or something in here too and not have to put any kind of sealer around it. But it's a good idea to seal this stuff up if you can, because sometimes it goes up in the air and you think, oh, I'm going to check on it, in a couple of weeks or next month or in the springtime, and you don't, and then the next thing you know, it's, your temporary fix is not working after a couple of years. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and regroup a little bit here. I got the O-ring out of one of these universal O-ring assortment kits. These are pretty handy to have around. They're not a lot, and definitely well worth the investment there. Should do a cool must-have tool video on this. So, all right, with that, I'm going to collect myself and regroup a little here, and I'll be back. Okay, so the next thing that you really want to do, since you're going to be painting this, don't forget you're going to paint it. Since you're going to be painting this, you want to make sure it's really clean. So take your end cap off here if you temporarily put it on there. And you want to take this entire thing and you want to rub it down really good with isopropyl alcohol. I got some right here. And like I said, because you're going to paint it, you just want to make sure all the greases and oils are off of this. And you're going to glue it if you choose to glue it. I guess you could choose not to. But if you're just kind of mocking it up and testing it out and trying it, you really don't need to glue it, I guess. If you're going to leave it more permanently, you probably should, because, this on here just constantly rocking around in the wind, it could, waller it out a little bit or loosen it. But, so clean the whole thing with isopropyl alcohol and kind of let it dry off. And then after that, I'm going to take just some regular PVC glue. Really doesn't matter what kind, just as long as it's made for gluing this kind of stuff, PVC glue. And we're going to glue the end cap on. Just going to put the glue around here, let it dry, and then after that, going to give it a coat of white spray paint, and I'll be back. So, clean with alcohol, glue the end on, spray paint it. Okay, again, I just wanted to show really up close kind of how these things come out of the box. You've got your nut here, which is bolts to the brass stud here. The top nut is also what you would screw your antenna into. So you've got the antenna threaded part on the top, this nut on the bottom here. Then you've got a split washer, and then you've got this insulator here. Now you've got, between the split washer and the insulator, you're going to have like a piece of metal, a metal bracket, whatever bracket system that this thing comes on, right? And then so you've got your nut, your split washer, your insulator, and then you got your brass stud going to your PL259 connector here. And like I said, I'm going to eliminate the insulator and put a little O-ring down here. And then I'm going to eliminate the split washer. And I'm just going to put it on here like this and tighten it down and put some sealer around it, because I feel putting the split washer around there, because the washer is split, it's going to be kind of harder to put sealer around it and kind of seal the water out. I mean, I already got this O-ring in here, but still, it's a good idea to try to seal the inside and the outside. So, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to show a little bit more about how those things come and how they're actually supposed to go together versus how I'm actually using it. So. Okay, so the cap is drying, but we've got the this part of it all painted up, got the end glued on here, everything's painted. I did leave the last little couple of inches, taped it just in case you want to glue another piece or something on here, if you want to mess with the length of it a little bit. like I said, you should be pretty good with this thing. I mean, the 5 foot or so, no problem at all. You could, probably add a little bit of length onto it. It'd still be pretty solid. You could just kind of experiment with it, with your situation. I mean, if you have this whole thing up against the building or whatever, you can go as high as you want. But just this alone, you're pretty much guaranteed 5 or 6 feet of some pretty good mast here, and you could probably stretch it out to probably about 10 if you did it right. So, got this here, and next I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the coax. Here's the length of coax I have here. I'm just going to feed this down through here like this. Okay, so we've got this fed through here. So like I said, when it comes time to do that cap, we can just go ahead and put our coax on there like that, and then put the cap over it, and no problem there. You could also get really creative on the end of this here. You could put a cap on it with a little bit of a hole in it or something for this to come out of, or you could actually take like one of those PL259, one of the it's the male fitting, that's the square plate. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't, it's completely escaping me. But you could put a hole in a cap and put one of those in there so that you just could literally screw your coax onto this thing here too. Just make this almost just like a giant spacer. So anyways, lots of different things you can do with this stuff. That's why I used it. It's like I said, you're not going to go 20-30 feet up in the air with this stuff, but if you just need some kind of a simple mast for a boat, an RV, or just kind of something quick that you can deploy in a hurry, this probably will suit you pretty well. And again, because of the way it's made and how it's made, you can experiment with it as much as you want. So you can also do a lot of mocking up with it without having to glue them either, which is another really nice thing about working with this stuff. So, okay, I'm going to wait for that cap to dry, and I'll be back. Got our cap painted up and fairly dry here. So I'm going to go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is to put the coax on here. Okay, you could take a pair of pliers or a wrench and just put an extra little turn on there. So there you go. Then we got our little O-ring here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this split washer on here because it's going to squish down enough, and then I'm going to put a little sealer on there, and that'll seal over the top. I was going to leave it out, but I think I'm just going to put it on there because that's going to help keep it from loosening. So every little bit helps, right? Okay, grab a little crescent wrench here. Okay. I'm going to grab a pair of pliers real quick so I can hold on to this coax piece a little bit here while I put one final little turn on this here. Alright, should be good to go there. So like I said, I'm going to just put this down on here. Screw it on there like that. Let me check my camera here. So yeah, we've just put it on here and screwed it on here like that. Like I said, I'm going to take and put a little bit of sealer around there. And we should be good to go. So anyways, yeah, that's the basic idea. So I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. It needs to be, that's the one thing with that split washer on there, is it's kind of in a little bit of an angle. So let me take this back off real quick. These things happen. Okay, so the coax is going to want to come off first before this thing here does. So we'll have to stick a wrench up in there to get. So a couple problems I saw. This O-ring was squirting out a little bit underneath here because it was cranked down so much. So I'm going to put a little smaller O-ring on there. Okay. Alright. So I've got a smaller O-ring on there so it won't squish out from the edge there. Yeah, it stays on there straight without this thick split washer on there. So I'm just going to stick to my original plan and put it on there like that and put a little sealer around there and be done with it. So let's put our coax back on here. Again, better to take the time to do it on the ground than have a problem with it after you've got it up in the air. So. Okay. Just put an extra little turn on there. Make sure our O-ring's on there. Put this through there. You could also use one of those, I'm not sure what they call them. It's like a stimpled washer. It's flat, it's not split, but it's got the little stimples around it. You could put one of those on there too, but like I said, this thing's not going to go anywhere. Put our pliers back up in here and hold on to that. Okay, there we go. And we're going to screw this back onto here. Okay, let me zoom out a little here. So that's pretty much what we got there. You can see it fits together nice. You can screw your antenna right in the top of there. Like I said, I'm going to put a little bit of sealer around here, but be able to screw your antenna up here and nice, have a nice sized mast to try and get it up in the air a little bit there. And then you got your coax coming out down here. Like I said, you could put a cap on here. I mean, you could wire this to one of those, connectors, and just screw your coax onto this here if you really wanted to get creative with it. But yeah, it's kind of nice. It's all self-contained. It's lightweight, easily deployable. Keeps your coax, inside here. So yeah. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of silicone sealer on here, and then come back and kind of wrap it up. Stick with me. Okay, so pretty much ready to wrap this up. I did want to kind of go over the grocery list of this real quick. Pretty much had just this leftover can of white spray paint here to paint it with. Another reason to keep some of your cans of spray paint around that don't have very much in them. They work out great for small projects like this. So we had a can of spray paint here. And again, you can use latex house paint, if you want to try and paint it to blend in with your house or your surroundings. We have our trucker mount here, which is the 3/8-24 up here, and then our PL239 right here. And then of course you can get these just like this, or a lot of times they'll come with a bracket. So got that there. Then we have our 1-inch threaded cap. Then we have our 1-inch male threaded to 1-inch glue fit union here. Or fitting here. I guess it's a union. I guess it's a slip fit 1-inch union to a 1-inch male. So we got that there. Then of course we've got our 1-inch PVC piping. We have our PVC glue, and then a length of coax. So yeah, pretty simple there. And then of course the finished product here looks like this right here. So you can see I just took and put a little bit of silicone around this here just to kind of help seal some of the water out here. I didn't reef down on this cap to screw it on there. It's plenty tight as it is, just like that. So here you go. I mean, if you need to take it apart for any reason, you can. Nice and sturdy. But I did notice something else really cool about this. It just hit me on the head while I was getting ready to kind of finish this up. This thing here, check this out. If you wanted, you could take something like, this is like a 4-foot fire stick type of an antenna here. This will slide right up inside of here. So you could have a fire stick or a skip shooter, or, you know, they make a lot of different types of these antennas. You could just put this thing right up in there, put a cap on the end of here, and you could shorten your coax so that you could put your coax up in there and put a cap on there, or you could put a hole in it and have your coax kind of sticking out, or you could put a fitting on your cap and screw your existing coax onto that, whatever. There's a lot of different things you could do, but my point is you could put another antenna, you know, a fire stick, a skip shooter, whatever, up inside of this and just, you know, have it like this, and then when you needed it, you know, take your antenna out, screw your antenna into here like this, and then mount this thing and put your coax on it. So that's a pretty cool idea there too, I think. Definitely could make it like a portable antenna. They make all different lengths of these fire stick, skip shooter type antennas. You could make this thing a little bit shorter and have a shorter fire stick in it. You could make it a little bit longer and have a longer one. So sky's pretty much the limit with that. So, but anyways, just a little quick idea there for you. Another way you could use it. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I might try to hook the antenna up to it and see if I can hook the coax up to it. I hate doing stuff like this and not hooking it up to see if it's working, but it's been raining like cats and dogs outside, and there's a little bit of skip rolling, but not a lot. So we'll see if I can get any audio in there before it. If not, hopefully this motivates you and inspires you to just go do it. And we'll see you in the next video. So thanks for watching. Shane, Gemini Garage. Okay, so I've got the antenna just kind of leaning up against the side of the garage here, and you can see that GR45 is only about a foot or so above the roof there. But I just wanted to show that it is working. If we kind of pan around in here and come over into the radio here, it's working. There was some skip rolling a minute ago. I'm going to just set the camera down here, and I'm going to hold that antenna up a little bit higher, and I'll bet it works. There it goes. I'm not even touching it yet, so. Okay, well there you go. Not exactly how you'd want to have your antenna there, but just showing that it does work. And you can take that mast there and you know, bolt that onto whatever, and probably add another length to it, and be in pretty good shape there. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it motivates you to make such a beast, and we'll see you in the next video. Shane, Gemini Garage.